Hey guys, so since it is the end of the first week in December, I realize I need to do my November wrap-up. So, yeah, let's get started. It's not really, I'm kind of ashamed of this wrap-up because it's not really a wrap-up because I didn't really read that much. But basically what happened was I started a lot of books and didn't finish one of them. But I did do audiobooks, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, so let's talk about the real books first. I started Gourmet Rhapsody by Muriel Barbary, and the writing in this book is amazing. Like, it really makes me look forward to reading Elegance of the Hedgehog. However, the character, like the main guy in this, is such a jerk that I cannot finish it. Like, I'm only 40 pages in, and it's only a 156 page book. You'd think that I could finish this in a day and be fine with it. But no. This character is literally so atrocious as a human being that I'm like, no. And, you know, it could be one of those books where, like, by the end he's redeemed, or, you know, towards, like, through the book you end up understanding why he is the way he is. But, I mean, for example, within this 40 pages, like, I already know that he was a terrible father to his daughter because he just was entirely focused on his career and, like, tried to push her to also, be excited about it, but aside from that, like, if she was not interested, then he was not interested in her as a person, and that's, I think, like, treating your child that way is pretty terrible. And then also, there was one point where he was talking about his wife, and he was saying how much he loved her, which I thought was great, but then there was just this one sentence where he was basically describing her as one of his possessions, or he, like, I think the word object was tossed around once or twice, and I was like, no. So, yeah, basically, I can't finish this because I just hate this character so much, but I do think that Muriel Barbary has a great way with words. But actually, you know, it could just be that the translator is great, because this is actually translated from French, so, yeah, I don't know. But I am looking forward to Elegance of the Hedgehog. But I'm a little bit worried because, my friend who I'm lending it to currently, I talked to him the other day, and he said, oh yeah, I'm almost finished with it, but I haven't picked it up in 2 weeks, and that kind of makes me worried about what I think about the book. So, yeah, a little bit worried about that now, because, I mean, he is, like, over halfway through, but he, like, set it down and hasn't picked it up in 2 weeks, and so I'm kind of, he thinks that means that he just doesn't really like it that much, and so I'm kind of worried, because he and I usually agree, except also, he didn't really like Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that's one of my favorite books, so hopefully I disagree with him on this book. We'll see. Or on, Elegance of the Hedgehog. But yeah, so this is going back to the library really soon. Like, maybe today. Same with A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. But this was actually the opposite reason. I really enjoyed the characters. Ruth, which I think Ruth Ozeki, like, makes herself one of the main characters in this, which I think is pretty unique and cool. And then Nao, is the girl in it, and, I was very invested in these characters and thought they were really unique and wanted to find out what happened to them. However, the writing style really bothers me because what she does is, this is part diary, part, regular fiction novel, because it's about a woman who finds a girl's diary, and in the diary the girl writes about her life and about the life of her grandmother, and that to me was very interesting. But in the diary portions, Ruth Ozeki does footnotes, because the girl is Japanese, so what she does is the girl will have a Japanese word or a Japanese phrase or something, and then in the bottom there will be a footnote saying what it means, or just saying what certain things about Japanese culture mean. And I would have much preferred if the way she had written it is that the girl then explained, by the way, this means this, instead of the author putting a footnote at the bottom, because to me that made me read it much more like a textbook, and I just really didn't enjoy that. I would have liked it so much better if it had just been within the story instead of going back and forth, because to me that disconnects me from the story. It does make it read more like I'm learning a history lesson instead of reading a book, and I don't enjoy that style of writing, I guess. And also, it seemed like some of the footnotes were unnecessary, I guess. So because of that, I just didn't really enjoy that style, and it was taking away enough from the actual story that I really didn't want to go through another 300 pages of it, because I had gotten to page, I want to say 60, and I just really didn't want to go through another 300 pages of read, footnote, read, footnote, read, footnote, because to me it would just completely disconnect me from the story. So what I'm probably going to do, and this is sad, but what I'm probably going to do is go on Wikipedia and look up the synopsis and just find out what happens to her. What happens to the girl, because that was a really intriguing part of the story. So, and also I was really sad that I didn't enjoy this, because I fell in love with this cover, I fell in love with the idea of the story. I was considering buying this book so many times when it first came out, and I was so excited when I got it from the library, but now I'm quite glad I got it from the library, because if I had bought this, if I had paid $29 for it, I would have been incredibly disappointed that I paid that much money, because I just didn't enjoy the writing style. Okay, I'm sorry, that was quite a long rant about that one. I'm sorry. And then I started some other books. Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. I don't remember if I started this in October or November. I think I started it in October and kept reading it in November. But then I put it aside for these library books that I ended up not enjoying. And I'm about halfway through, and I really want to finish this month. What I'll probably do is wait until after I read my Christmassy books and then read this one, maybe after Christmas. But I still do want to finish it by the end of the year, and because I'm really enjoying this, you guys, it's quite good. And then one that I'm so excited about that I started was Hobbit. I actually technically started this this month, because it's now December 8th. So yeah, I technically started this month, but I decided to include it in this because I think I maybe read 5 pages of it in November. But yeah, I was planning on reading this weekend, but that didn't happen. But anyway, yeah, so really enjoying this. Need to read it before the film comes out. And then the 2 other things that I read, and by read I mean listened to, are I finally finished Stardust, because we went on a trip for Thanksgiving, and it was quite a long car ride, and so I was able to finish the last 2 hours of Stardust, and I loved it so much that I think I was just crazy when I said that because I watched the movie my freshman year of college, and at the time I said I didn't like it, and now I'm like, was I not nerd enough then? I think that's what it was. I think I was not after reading, or after listening to the book, I texted my friend and I was like, was I on crack when I said I didn't like the film? Because I don't know how I wouldn't like this film, because the book was so amazing. And he was like, yeah, I think you must have been. So, yeah. Now I loved the audiobook so much that I think I need to buy my own copy of the book. And I also really want to find the movie on, like, Amazon Prime or something and give it another shot. Because I loved it so much. And the other book that I listened to was actually a, a picture book audiobook. It was like a children's book as an audiobook, also by Neil Gaiman, called Instructions. And this is going to sound really cheesy because I'm 23 years old, almost 24, but the reason why I got that one is because I still watch Arthur episodes, which it's a TV series here. It's a kids' TV series, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, really? That's so cheesy. Why do you still watch that show? But it's because, like, the references in it are so cool. Like, they make fun of Harry Potter. I mean, not make fun of, but they have allusions to Harry Potter. They have allusions to Lemony Snicket. They have allusions to Neil Gaiman. And that's what I was going to say, is the reason why I bought that one is because there's an episode of Arthur called Falafilosophy, where Neil Gaiman guest stars as himself. And in the very beginning, he's reading to the Elwood City Library. He's there doing a reading, and what he's reading from is Instructions. And I didn't know that. I just heard that part of what he was talking about, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, I have to know what he wrote, because, and originally I thought it was the Make Good Art thing, and then I was like, no, because that was a convocation speech, or not a convocation speech, is that it? Convocation? I don't know. It was a graduation speech. And so I was like, well, that can't be it, because this was done a while ago. So then I looked it up, and it turned out to be Instructions, and so I bought it. It was only like $2 on Audible, and I listened to it, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was so great. If you are a fan of Neil Gaiman, I don't care if you're like 40, go pick up that book, or listen to the audiobook, because it is just so, his words are amazing, and it was fantastic. So yes, those were my two very good things this month, and same with Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie and Hobbit, but yeah, the two fails were definitely Tale for the Time Being and Gourmet Rhapsody, which was unfortunate, but you know, what can you do? And this video has kind of run on longer than I thought, so originally I was going to talk about my books that I want to read this month, but I'm going to make a separate video for that now. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!